these apps to see which one it was on.
Yeah.
And I always told myself, well, okay, if this movie is just on HBO Max, I'll get it because I know there's a lot of good stuff on there. So I just need an excuse. And so it was nice because you don't have to subscribe to know what the library is. You can still search all the movies in the TV.
Right.
Oh wow, look at that's my voice.
Sorry, I need a monitor. So I also need to edit everything really quick. So
And I forget what the movie was that finally got me to get HBO Max, but it wasn't that long ago. And then it worked out because now I noticed like that DC library, and I was like, hey, that's where all that DC Universe content went.
There's all the content that I paid for.
There's all that content I thought I was paying for.
yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny. I want to I guess I should. So I feel like shit because I got the vaccine yesterday.
Oh, nice. Oh wow, just yesterday.
Well, the second one.
The
Oh
doozy.
right, so, yeah, I thought you. That's right, you got the other one a week ago or whatever.
Yeah, I checked my temperature earlier, and I'm at 99.6 degrees.
It's a lot of degrees, dude.
I mean,
99.6. Well, what's the body normally sit at? Like 98.
I'm usually at 97.1, so it's
97?
it's a fair couple of degrees. I
cooking.
usually run pretty cold.
Gotcha.
It's all that ice water you're drinking.
That's it.
That's why I don't drink water, so I can keep my body temperature normal.
So you can have a fever all the time. That seems solid. Hold on, I'll be
Occasionally,
right
I
back.
could just.
Maybe
pass
that's why I'm
out
so
on it.
dehydrated, is because I'm just all the water that I drink is just turning into steam.
Check one, check one, check one. I don't hear
Hey,
myself.
there we go. I can hear you.
Mm.
You guys sound good. I can't really hear myself.
Hold on. What's up? What'd you say?
Hold on. Hello, 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 hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you guys too, and I can even hear me. But I'm actually kind of quieter than I normally am. I don't know why. I don't know why.
You sound the same in terms
Do I?
of volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I have to talk louder. Why are you in the dark, Daniel?
I'll show you. Oh, we're live, by the way.
Oh, hi,
We
live.
were waiting on you.
Hey, live.
Hello, live. I was I ate 2 bowls of Fruity Pebbles, and that's pretty much like lighting the fuse on the old
Nice.
butt bomb. So I was sitting
Oh,
here.
yeah, because of the milk. You're still going.
No. It's I'm on to almond milk,
Okay.
and it's unsweetened, so it's only 30 calories.
All
But,
men milk.
Yeah, almond milk, which is less than 30 calories.
Nice purple straw there, Jer.
Thanks. Coffee bean with the
Nice.
purple straws that I can't get.
No, it doesn't even have to be the milk, Daniel. It's just everything that goes in my body comes out soft.
What did I just walk in on? Jesus.
Oh, just talking about my butt again.
That's it.
I went to
Classic Daryl
not almond
conversation.
milk. I'm definitely not at almond milk, but I am at almond butter.
Really?
Peanut butter.
Butter? Don't even know her.
Oh, instead of peanut butter, I was like, for some reason, I was like, instead of regular butter, that sounds gross.
Yeah.
Putting on, oh God.
Yeah,
This is
I
terrible to
forgot
cook with.
that.
It burns immediately.
My
Yeah.
at this age, my large intestines pretty much become a roll of the dice. You really have no idea.
I haven't had hard poop in years, dude. I think it's just part of the way it goes, right?
No,
It's definitely going
sometimes
on.
I have a wipeless poop. It's extremely rare, right? And yeah, hard part poop is extremely rare. It happens sometimes, but I don't get rabbit pellets anymore. That's nice.
Well, it's a good thing you stopped eating
Or deer pellets.
like. Yeah,
I'm glad
you
this
stopped
is
eating
what we're
animal
talking
pellets.
about right now.
Well, I stopped grazing. Well, you said we're live, right? So,
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity to.
Really starting
so
strong
why are you
there.
in the dark again?
So,
Yeah.
oh, that is a great segue. So, I'm done with a single wall of my apartment, and I did a little bit of pizzazz. So this is the reveal. You guys ready for this?
Oh, it's pizzazz.
Oh, it's a road.
Wow. Oh, that was
shit.
great.
That looks really
That
good.
looks cool. I
Okay.
like how your acoustic guitar is like doing anal with your bass on the back.
Oh, it's
there.
nice. It's supporting it. Yeah, it's just
Does
they're
it
stacked
stay
on each other.
up?
I only had two
Yeah.
wall hangers, so I just
You have
stacked
to
my bass on
vertically stack them.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Really
You
quickly,
get no wall hangers.
Really quickly, I want to plug this guy's stuff on YouTube that I've been watching. Is
Hold on, we're not even done with the reveal yet. I'm still revealing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
more to reveal.
I'm also not wearing pants. I'm wearing pants.
Jesus.
So yeah, these are sound panels that I custom made
Nice.
using pegboard from Home Depot and foam from Amazon. And then a little bit of an extra wallop for you guys is these. Oh, the IR
that's
sensor's
cool.
all fucked up.
Oh,
Hold on.
Quite a wall.
There we go.
All
right, there we
go.
go.
It is.
There we go.
That is awesome. Oh, you
That's
can
cool.
change colors. Of course,
So-
you can change colors.
I think this one's a little lopsided, but I think. Oh no, it's just the webcam wideness. But yeah, so now I put these RGB light strips behind me, so it looks pretty cool. It looks a little bit more like a
Nice.
studio now, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get this hooked
Yeah.
up to my phone so this works a little bit better, but that looks pretty cool.
It looks really,
Very cool.
really good. How like, yeah. I mean, you need to do something about those panels that everything's plugged into. Though.
Yeah, it's not. There's
It's
these,
like-
the wires and then
Yeah,
here's my
that looks.
surround
It
sound
looks
system.
really
It's like
good. How
little-
the wires are just hanging on the wall there.
I know. I
Nothing
literally, it's funny because here, let me turn on my my blur so it's not as. There we go.
Oh,
So-
that's
There you
better.
go.
It looks
Wires are
like
gone.
it looks like a JPEG. Yeah, no, you
It
can't
looks
even tell.
super legit.
I know.
Yeah,
That's what I
are
was.
you
Look like you're-
using Bokeh, or is this all like just done through?
This is through the NVIDIA broadcast app. So I'm on my
Okay,
PC.
so this is not real.
No, this
Blur.
is extra software.
You almost like green screen and you put that.
I know
in.
it looks like this is like
I
a
would've-
picture
yeah.
now.
Well,
A
that's
picture of a
why
studio.
I would have assumed that you would do. But I mean, you have the camera for it, so I figured you would try to build some kind of apparatus to have it point at you.
I can do that, but it would cost me $500 to get the broadcasting hardware for it. You have to plug it. Yeah,
to,
you have
to be able to stream the camera to your computer.
Yeah, so either I could get an Elgato or I can get the $500 Blackmagic Design HDMI in 4-channel switcher so I can do live stuff, which
What,
I'm
the
not going to be
ATEM?
doing anytime soon. Instead, I'll just stick with the $60 webcam that I got
Exactly. There's
and
nothing wrong with the
some
webcam.
Yeah.
cheap soft and some free software to make it blur. So
I mean, you can see the difference between the cheap webcam that's $60 and the expensive webcam, which is $160.
see, it's
like-
night and day.
I can literally. Well, it's funny because I can see, like, very clearly the slight difference in how crisp our edges are. Like,
I think that's because it's native for you in Zoom.
what'd you call me?
You heard me.
Are you edge bragging?
I am crispy.
Because
edge
mine
bragging.
looks, yeah, mine looks better. I'm using my shitty webcam on my 6-year-old MacBook Pro, and it looks mine still looks better to me than yours look to me, because I'm getting like Dan said, I'm getting the actual whatever
You're getting the native resolution that Zoom
native resolution.
has,
Thank you.
and
And
then
you guys are getting compressed.
where all the
Oh,
streams
that's what you mean.
compressed.
So to
Mm.
you, it's going to look more amazing. Where to me, you guys look all
Got
the same
it.
to me.
Yeah.
You look like they have the same resolution going
Well,
on.
what's the point of having a 4K camera if it doesn't even stream in 4K to Zoom?
I
Seems
don't.
like
I
it's-
don't know
think
why
you
you got a 4K
Answer your own
camera.
question. You
I
just
mean,
answered your own question.
I don't
Because it
know,
was
you know what?
$160, man. I mean, it was.
must-
I was
It must
Drop
all
in the
be
bucket.
semantics because I'm looking when Ben, you're like, yeah, my edges are slightly crispier. I was like, oh yeah.
Crispier.
Oh, it,
But,
it turns
I don't
out
even
that
know.
they're exactly.
I
as
don't know.
crispy.
What if they are exactly the same and I'm just
Then yeah, he
Got the
fried
same
his
level
edges
Evo
a
in
lot
this
of
longer.
bitch.
crisp. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah,
crispier.
I need to figure out some way to mount this thing up higher though, because it really annoys me that I can't look at my screen without looking like.
Social media.
Excuse me. Just gonna like
Dab.
there, perfect.
All right, there we go. I like it.
all the peace signs.
I mean, it should
Signs
be
over
like
here, peace signs over here, peace signs over here.
if it was right here, it would be
Do
perfect.
squishy
But
knee.
there's just no way. There's just no way.
Yeah, let's absolutely do squishy knee.
Squishy knee. Are we live right now? By the way.
Been live.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, well, welcome to the We Like to Fuck Around with Our Cameras podcast.
I'm joined by all of us.
Joined by myself, Ben Nickerson.
I like how you're in the
And-
corner of your own camera now.
Well, I mean, it's because my monitor's over here, so that's why it needs to be in the middle. But it's just
Can't you like swivel it? Because I can swivel mine and like tilt it and all this stuff. $60.
I mean, I didn't pay for the mount.
did I.
It's
I
not about
looked a little
swiveling.
clip.
It has a clip on it and stuff.
was
And I
literally-
can swivel the clip. It's just that like there's no point to doing that because it's a free sitting camera. Like swiveling it doesn't help.
Mine has a swivel. I was actually literally about to grab the camera to show you, but then there's no way to show you because it's all
it's the
attached.
camera.
Yeah, it's
I
all
mean,
attached.
Because
mine
it's
has
the camera.
a
It's got a
mine
little.
has a
like I can
swivel as
swivel it.
well.
Yeah,
I can also swivel
okay.
it this way and that way. But like that's not what the problem is. The problem is there's no mount for it anywhere.
Mhm.
It's just a
Oh,
free
you have nowhere
sitting
to
camera.
put it. Okay.
Yes.
Well, my MacBook sits on a bunch of regular books,
Yeah.
and I can swivel the books like this.
I mean, I could actually.
How much are your books?
I didn't pay for any of them, so free.
Oh wow.
But he does have some major late fees on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go back to the
Okay,
OG. Look.
No one. Libraries aren't open, so.
So does anyone even go to the libraries anymore?
Yes, people go to libraries.
Even
still.
pre bug
I have a library card.
doesn't mean you go.
It's true. I
Also,
I have
haven't-
a friend who goes.
If anyone was curious, every time I go like this, I'm farting.
I figured. See, I got
All right,
a
put up
library
the fart
card
counter, Dana.
because, like, I think it was the first couple of weeks I was here in Austin when I first moved here. I went to the public library and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get a library card because I'm a resident.
I remember I
That's
owed
what residents do.
Get library cards.
fines at the Long Beach at
Break
the
fines?
Fountain Valley Library, and I thought, ooh, I'll be smart and I'll just go to Huntington Beach, and I'll get a library card there, and I went out to pay those fines. And I was getting my card, and they're like, "Oh, sir, we can't issue a card until you pay these fines from Fountain Valley." I'm like, "Y'all are connected?" It was crazy.
What?
It blew my mind, right?
You didn't know
We're
that?
different
Those
city.
bastards.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I didn't
they-
know that. My
I knew-
mother was a
I had-
librarian.
They have the same database.
I
Yeah,
had
who
learned
knew?
that as well.
Well, I guess it's all
The
Orange
heck?
County.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I was thinking it was by city, and they wouldn't catch me.
So you
but
needed to go to like Long Beach or something. with all that counts.
maybe I had to cough up $11.
Or you could just pay your fine. I mean, like,
$11.
No, no, Long
I
Beach.
was a little short that month, so
Hey man,
Long
that's
Beach it is.
that's a Wendy's
Jesus.
meal right there.
Taking
Yeah,
a
that's a
trip
Wendy's
to
meal.
to and from Long Beach
Actually,
is probably going to
Wendy's-
cost you around $11.
I know, right? Not
Hey,
even
when
a
I get
baconator.
a
but-
Wendy's actually costs me more. Yeah, I was gonna say Baconator in downtown costs $16 with the meal.
Well, hold on. If you get
What?
two bacon,
Right?
junior bacon,
I'm gonna clip that face there. That's $16.
$16 for a baconator combo. You get the large or what?
What are you
I get the
doing?
medium, man.
Really?
With tax.
You get
With
the
tax,
medium?
Yeah, with tax, it's $16.
No way. I mean, mine's
Yeah.
still expensive too. I get my normal Wendy's meal because you got to get the nugs. So I'll get the
Yes.
Baconator or their new beer burger.
Beer batter burger.
Oh,
Have
that
you had
thing's
that?
yeah,
that thing's real
that's
good.
that yeah, it tastes an awful lot like obesity.
It's great. I shoved
I
that
hate
down
you
my
guys.
throat.
I
it's
wanna
actually
go to
flavored
Wendy's.
with a side of obesity.
Yeah.
Like
You
your
get-
obesity
you
on
can
the
get,
side, please.
Wendy's will be one of the places I go to when I'm off this keto shit.
Yeah. You can get
I'm almost done.
regular or spicy diabetes on the side.
Can't you go? Can't you just go during? Can't you just get like a bunless burger or something? In that
You
keto?
can, but I can't have the nugs. You can get a a lettuce wrapped burger.
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's
Like
the way to
protein
go
style?
for sure.
Mm.
I had one of those
Keto?
today actually, and it was pretty good.
Actually, the In-N-Out versions of those are very good. I used to
Or
eat those all the
protein style.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, protein style.
You can get a
Right.
Flying
Um,
Dutchman, which is just a burger and cheese, and that's it.
I do that.
Always
I
fun
do
to
that
tell somebody to
sometimes.
order a Flying Dutchman in and out, and it's just a patty.
Patty and cheese.
They're like, what?
Because it sounds so
But,
cool. Like
uh,
I would love to get a Flying Dutchman. It sounds like
yeah,
a
you ever
giant
heard
burger.
of the secret menu? Go
Mhm.
get
That's
the
true.
Flying Dutchman.
A
Yeah.
Flying Dutchman sounds like it's going to be really like badass, but it's just a patty.
It's
I know.
not, Yeah.
It sounds like a one of those gross sex things, like a Blumpkin or
Flying Dutchman.
Nasty Sanchez or a
Oh yeah,
rusty trombone or a
a
yellow tambourine
Dutch oven.
or a green banjo.
Dutch oven is not a
A
sex.
Dutch
I mean,
oven
it
is
could
just
be.
putting your little brother under the
Could
covers
be.
and farting.
Could be a sexual thing. You don't know.
It probably is
People
now.
want to get Dutch oven.
Yeah.
It probably
There's
is now.
8 billion people in the world. There's somebody out there that is attracted to Dutch ovens.
I'm
telling
sure there's
you.
a Dutch oven subreddit with an NSFW on
Probably,
it.
yeah.
so.
Have you seen the there's a ProZD skit where the guy is talking about those like niche subreddit communities, and he's like, yeah, I like water, and takes a sip, and then he's like, after I get on the subreddit, so I like to have a vertical glass, but some people like the horizontal glasses, and I keep my water at a perfect pH of 7, little bit over if I'm feeling kind of alkaline. It's really funny.
Is this a
Uh,
real
That's pretty
thing?
hilarious.
Like this?
It's
is
a-
an
Oh, of
actual
course
subreddit?
not. But like,
Oh.
it's the idea that like every time you get into something on, like anytime you get into any community, right? You start off just being like, I like thing, and then you're like, oh, the people not only are super interested in this stuff and like have a lot of like ideas about how it should work, but also there's like all this like nomenclature and jargon that you need to
Yeah.
learn if you're even going to
It's-
understand what people are saying.
Yeah.
It's really out of hand.
It's pretty
It's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Well, people get really, really
it's
into it.
daunting trying to get into those communities. Like,
Yeah.
I have a Reddit, and every time I'm like, I think I'm going to check this thing out, and I go check it out, and it's like they're so deep into it already. I'm like, man, I could spend a long time of my life just figuring out all the ins and outs of this one subreddit.
Poetic.
Mhm.
A long time of my life.
A long time of my life.
Or even worse, you're like, oh, there's a subreddit for this thing that I kind of like. I want to go see like how other people are doing it. And then everybody in the subreddit is just like, the subreddit exists to basically make fun of the thing and the people who like it. Have you ever had this experience?
Oh,
That happened to
I
me
like
with Cyberpunk 2077. I was like, oh, let me check the subreddit. And it's just like, this game sucks. People who like it suck. And it's like post after post after post, just roasting anybody that could possibly enjoy this game.
I just wanted to play a video game. I'm sorry.
Just like, this is a real nice community.
you guys are great.
Love it here. It's so nice. One of the communities I have joined, which has been a huge confidence boost, is the local photography community on Facebook. It's
I'm assuming that everybody's bad at photos. Is that, man?
it's great.
Not really.
It's
not
it's the
keeping
best.
yourself humble at all, huh?
No, it's it's great because it's like sometimes I'm like, man, this kind of like this edit that I'm working on. And it's like it doesn't look good. Like the colors don't look good, and I'll just be browsing Facebook. I'm like, oh, well, it could be worse. It could be
Hold on.
worse.
But are you
Right.
posting anything on there and getting comments?
Yes, actually, I posted a couple of times, and I was one of like the most rated and most commented on posts. Most of the time, people get about like maybe 2 to 5 comments on any kind of like photo
And
dump
it's
that they
pretty
do.
hard to
But,
get.
yeah, I got
anything
about
at all.
I think around 50.
I love that we,
Nice.
And
we
there's
basically
1,000 people in this group.
I love
Wow,
that we
yeah.
basically explained both sides of the coin, right? Like I was like, I joined a community and everybody hates this like thing that I like. And then Dana joins the community and he hates everybody else's thing that they like.
That's me though. That's just my
That's a
personality.
that's a water thing.
That's
And Dana's
It's
absolutely
just
like,
like,
oh, I hate everything on here. I'm gonna stay.
wow, this is bad.
yeah, I hate everything on here and I'm better than all of you.
I hate
Upvote
this.
my pictures.
Yeah.
It's like,
I hate this, and everybody on here, see you tomorrow.
Yep. It's the best. It's real good. It is
what
a
a, what
huge
a
confidence
beautiful vibe to bring into the community.
It's a,
I know,
I
right?
don't I'm not like I don't shit on people in it, but it's a
You do in
good
your
confidence
mind,
booster
though.
when I'm like just browsing and I'll just like
I'm mind shitting.
yeah, and then I'll see like one of their posts. I'm like, and then I'll keep scrolling.
This
you
does
know?
align with exactly what I thought, which is, Dana, you're an excellent photographer. You are one of the most creative people I've ever met, and you are also a huge prick.
Yes, yes, I am.
Yes,
But I
that's
take
a
it in
water
stride. This is absolutely a Waters thing. This is all we talk about when we play video games together.
It is.
So we just shit on ourselves and everyone else.
Yeah,
No one's safe. It's like it's literally
safe.
just like turning a
nonstop
hose
stream of shit
straight up in the
everywhere.
air into a crowd. Like I'm gonna get wet, and so is everyone else.
And then
God.
we're at this age, all of us, me and my brothers and stuff, we're nice now compared to how we used to be. We're terrible. There was this one job we were sitting on. It was a trailer, and I happened 3 of my brothers happened to be on the job with me, and we ended up sitting in this trailer at breaks and lunchtime. And people want to come in and hang out with us because we were so funny, ha ha ha. And if you entered that trailer, though, you were now who we would attack and shit on and fuck with you. And then people go, like, "You guys are fucking assholes," and they get up and walk out. And we'd laugh. Got rid of another one. But if you could just survive one break time, you were in, and then you could stay in with us. It was the same
right.
trailer where they kept all the boots, the rubber boots. And I remember we're sitting in there one time. We were talking, and we keep hearing chicka 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 chicka. What the fuck is that? Wouldn't hear it. With a little bit talking again. Chicka 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 chicka. We're like, what the fuck is that noise? So we start searching through the boots and keep hearing scratching, and then we get to this one boot, and this mouse flies out at 100 miles an hour in our faces. We all fucking scream. We're running out of the trailer. I mean, the mouse looked like it was this, this big. This
No.
tiny little fucking thing came shooting out at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
Fast
good
mouse.
trailer. Best mouse ever.
Best
I don't know where he is now. I'd like to know if anyone knows the mouse in the
Where
booth
is he
from
now?
27
Right.
years ago.
Mouse,
I made that
Mouse
same.
from
I made
years
that
ago in
same
the chat.
joke. I made that same joke to some friends that I play Call of Duty Warzone with. They're
Yeah.
releasing a new season, and they got the rights to a bunch of new guns. Because I don't know if you knew this, but you have to get rights to specific models of guns if you want to put them in your game.
I didn't know that.
Because, well,
Yeah,
yeah, because you can't just put the M16 is an easy one because that's a government trademark, and so essentially the
I see what you're
government
saying, if you
is
wanna put
happy
an
to have it
HK
in
on.
things. But if you want to put like a PPSH, you need the Russian company to give you the rights to put it in. So, anyways,
Huh.
I'm aware of how this. I guess I learned how this stuff worked, and so they did a release, and they put a bunch of new kind of esoteric models. The PPSH is probably the most well-known one, but they also had like the Car 31K and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And like I was like, oh, these are cool models. And then the very last thing on there was baseball bat. and so I was like, oh man, I can't believe they got baseball bat. They got the rights to baseball bat. This is crazy.
From
And my
Wrigley
fr- like-
himself.
Was it a Louisville Slugger though?
No, it was just
Right.
Yeah, but the
It's
thing
like
was
a
like
little
my
baseball
friends
bat.
in the group chat just like reacted with question mark because they didn't get the joke, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like completely fell flat, and I was like, "Well, I thought it was funny."
Sometimes you'll be the only one.
That's all that matters.
I mean, as long as I make me laugh, I don't really care.
Yeah. So speaking of laughing, should we start this pig?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
we call
Well, this is the We Like This podcast. I am joined by myself, Dana Waters, Daryl Waters. Nice, Ben. I was looking for that. I was like, how are you gonna do this? Daryl
I
Waters,
got you.
Jeremy Dallas, and Ben Nickerson, and we are talking about Nobody, which is that new movie with
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob
yeah, I kept
Odenkirk.
calling him Robert or something, or like I don't know.
That
But
probably
yeah,
is
Bob
Chris
Odenkirk.
Odenkirk.
Bob shirt for Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
I really
had a lot
enjoyed
of
this
fun.
movie.
It was a very fun movie.
It was a
It was
very fun
fun.
movie. So especially considering that the guy Ilya, some Russian last name.
The last thing that he made was freaking Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, he hasn't really done a whole lot in terms of directing. He was in like a heavy metal or punk band in Russia or Ukraine or something
really?
like that. Yeah, and he just
Yeah.
like made Hardcore Henry. It's pretty
With like
pretty crazy.
20 credit cards. Like he made
Yeah.
that movie for like nothing. It's
Yeah.
I think he's the same guy that does that song.
He's definitely not Vladik. That guy's
You know, the Russian
Love that guy.
dance.
Yeah, that's
the
awesome.
editor himself.
Yeah, he's Russian.
Did you guys like Hardcore Henry? Just side note.
I did not.
Couldn't finish
I
it.
made it about 20 minutes
Couldn't
into the
finish
movie,
it.
and I was
Yeah.
like, "Well,
Yeah.
this was a cool YouTube video, but it's kind of
It-
lasted longer than the YouTube video should be." So
The ones that we saw on YouTube were enough. A full movie was
Mhm.
not. Didn't
That's
work.
what I thought too. I was like, this is a really cool idea. And then it's
Yeah.
like 2 hours of it.
And
Yeah.
it's like non-stop. It is constant
Yeah.
action, and it just gets tiring after a while. I mean, the stuff was cool. Like if you took
Yeah.
every segment and split it up and released it as like a series on YouTube, that would be awesome.
like a 10
That might have worked better,
100-minute series.
That's
I
a
bet
good
it would've been
idea.
Great.
Mhm.
Pieces of it, like 10-minute pieces or something, but to have
Yeah.
the whole movie like that, it was
Right.
like, it got
And then you'd have
over
all
the
kinds of people
good,
being
but-
like, "This should be a movie," and then like we would just
Yeah.
right back into the loop.
Oh no.
well, that's the problem though too. Is like, they put those videos. I don't know if it was the same guy but whoever was doing those videos was the same thing, right?
It was he was
Got-
well, he's done a couple music videos. I believe.
They were amazing, right? And even, there was the one that even had Charlton Copley in it and stuff. And you're like, that's exactly what we're all thinking. Like, wow, this would be amazing as a movie. And then you make it a movie and it doesn't translate. It just happens sometimes.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it would have
It's
been
like-
better to say, wow, this would have been great as a movie and never make the movie.
It's
Mhm.
like
Gotta make
every
the movie to find
single video game movie basically that's ever been made.
Yeah,
Like,
it
Like
doesn't
I'm
work.
not
I also-
convinced that there is like a good way to make a video game movie unless you have like a totally original screenplay that maybe has like been inspired by a video game.
Yeah, that's the only way you can do it. And
Yeah.
I know it's been done, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. There's a good video game movie out there, isn't there?
I think the
There
best
is. What I
Oh
know
yeah,
what you're-
Doom. Just kidding.
Doom was really bad.
Dang. Yeah, I can only
Uh,
think of all the shitty ones right
Well,
now.
there's okay. So Laura Croft
is a
with
good
Angelina
one.
Jolie, the first and second one, I would say are definitely good movies. They're not great movies, but they're solid. But like
Solid turds.
I think that's the best that we got, honestly.
Oh my God, there was
Oh, I
Prince of
think-
Persia also with Jake Gyllenhaal.
That was
Bad.
bad.
Remember that? That was
That's
not a good
bad.
movie. It was a
Bad.
cool movie, but it was not good.
It was like we were talking about one
One.
time. What's the one? It's Silent Hill is the same thing. Cool idea.
Silent Hill.
Cool as a
bad.
game. Video game does not work at all as a movie. It was just weird.
Yeah, I've actually been playing through Silent Hill 2, and I was like, man, this is like when you go like going into the nightmare dimension or whatever in Silent Hill 2 is way cooler than anything they did in the movie. And I think it's just because you're playing the game, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know
like,
what?
whatever the
did do
character
it-
that was with the big triangle on his fucking head.
Pyramid Head,
Head.
yeah.
Just it looks stupid in the movie.
Looked crappy. Yeah.
And I don't even know if it works in the
It was
game.
like
I never really played the game, but-
2005.
So
Yeah,
I
it
learned, yeah,
looked
Pyramid
dumb.
Head has a very specific purpose in Silent Hill 2, which is where he was introduced, where he's like a sex monster. And like, it's weird that they shoehorned him
Huh.
into the movie because there's not really any themes of like, sexual aggression in that movie. So it's like, why is Pyramid Head here?
Because he's
it's
got
because
it's
he's iconic.
Silent Hill and he's
He's iconic.
famous in the video game world. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, Resident Evil, those movies
Oh, I forgot about
kind
that.
of
Those movies do have
Based-
unique or like
they
very
are original
different original screenplays. Yeah,
they
that's true.
basically don't really resemble the video games at all. Actually, they're still shitty.
I don't hate them. I don't hate
But
them.
the first
right?
couple are actually not bad. Actually, even the third one, which
I
is the
kinda like
first
the
one
first
I'd ever
one.
seen.
I would rank
Yeah.
them alongside.
thought they were okay.
I would
Yeah,
rank them
they're okay.
alongside the first Mortal Kombat. You know, like the first Mortal Kombat, great movie, not a good movie at all, like by any stretch of the imagination, but a great movie to watch.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's
Mm.
fantastic. It is very
fun.
entertaining, very
Yeah.
stupid, but
Wrong
you
with
know, it like that's the magic.
Like this
of it,
show.
right?
You
Like
know
this
what
show,
was
you know what?
supposed to be the one that was going to change all that though was the damn Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh,
God, that was
That was
I
supposed
fell
to break the
asleep during
cycle.
It had
of
Michael
I went with
Fassbender.
Ben.
I don't
It
know.
had Michael Fassbender in it. Looked really good. The trailers looked really good. It was supposed to be. It was the chosen one. It was the movie that
Yeah.
was going to break the cycle of
It
bad
was-
video
it
game
was-
movies.
I literally fell asleep during that movie, woke up, realized the movie was still happening, and thought, man, I gotta get back to sleep.
you're missing out on valuable sleep time.
Good sleeping movie at least.
Oh god, it was terrible. What a horrible movie. I guess I can't really say that because I missed a lot of it, but it did not keep me
Probably.
did
will.
not keep me entertained.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Michael Fassbender running around with a big bionicle arm holding on to him.
Yeah, I don't like when you have to have a really good reason to change very iconic things, you know, and they did not have a good reason to change the
Other
animus.
than showing Michael Fassbender's face, that was basically it.
Yeah, because otherwise he's just face down in a Tempur-Pedic bed.
Yeah, I mean essentially that's how those things worked. But back to our lovely movie Nobody.
Yes.
So
Great
Yeah, it's-
opening.
yeah, great opening. It actually started off with a theme, I would think, that was very reminiscent of the driving force behind the last movie we watched, Nocturnal Animals, where Jake Gyllenhaal's character is being like confronted by a couple of baddies, and he's like frustrated that he can't protect his family.
Right.
Except this is basically the opposite situation where it plays out the exact same way. The people, like, I guess his family doesn't die or whatever, but like the people run away and everybody's like coward. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
well, I guess surviving major trauma is just something you should never do based off of movies that I've seen recently, because
Everybody
like
shits
everybody
on you.
is a
Everybody
fuck.
shits
Yeah.
on you for it. Yeah.
Everybody's an
Yeah.
asshole. I mean, I don't understand this. Like, it should not be socially acceptable for somebody to go through major trauma and for you to be like, well, if I was in that situation, I would have done a triple backflip and thrown a katana into their face. It's like,
The whole
Well-
time I was watching that, I was like, "This is just movie stuff," because no one treats you like.
No one does that in real life. Yeah.
Nobody.
If someone finds out that you had a home invasion.
Oh my god, are you
regardless of
okay?
how it
That's
happened,
terrible.
Regardless
Yeah.
of the outcome, even if you
Yeah.
did totally kick ass, people still, that's not the
Still would
first
be
thing
like,
anyone's
"Are you
going to
okay?"
comment on. They're still the first thing they're going to say is, "Oh my god, are you okay? Is your family okay? How's everyone doing?"
There's the
I would-
occasional
yeah.
the occasional asshole that'll be like, "Well, I would have fucking kicked ass." And
all
everybody-
the armchair kids on the internet. For
Yeah,
sure
and anyone who
think
says that,
like
you're like, "Shut up," because
Well,
Yeah.
now that I think about it, in the real world, because the scene that we're talking about is in the beginning, he's going to hit one of the robbers in the back of the head with a golf club
Mhm.
in order to neutralize them. And I realize now that, like, let's say that I had a home invasion, and I like walked into my living room, I caught them off guard, and I beat one of the robbers with a golf club. I feel like the people that I told that story to would not. They'd be like, "Oh, that's how you handled that situation, huh?" Like, they wouldn't be impressed or like, "Wow, how sexy." They'd be like, "This guy just fucking beats people with golf clubs." Like, good lord.
I don't
Like,
know.
it's-
I
It
don't
depends
know.
on who you're
Just-
telling that story to.
Yeah,
I think
you
that's
told
right.
that story to me, and you were like, "Oh, and you fucking smacked him over the head with a golf club."
I'd
Well,
be like,
hey,
good for
You
you.
took care of business. Yeah, I would have been like, good for you. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I don't know, man. If I had a fucking kill under my belt that was golf club related, I don't think you guys would treat me the same way.
Well,
It
You
really
know,
don't.
my first reaction wouldn't be "attaboy." It still would be, like I said, "Oh my
Are you
god,
good?"
that's crazy. Are you okay?" And then maybe later, once the trauma subsided, I'd be like, "By the way, that was really
well,
cool."
you went from subdue to kill just like that. That's two different things.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
true.
Did
You don't
he
have to-
not-
You
he-
mentioned him,
kill
subdue it,
with
and
the
then
golf
you
club,
then
okay.
now you have a kill on your belt. That's different.
All of a
but
sudden,
Oh, I
Kill.
meant like
He's murking
yeah,
people.
I guess
I
like
still
he
think
would
he
have
did the right
killed
thing.
the guy with the golf club. He wouldn't have just done like a one and done. He would have probably killed.
Not that. Yeah,
You
that
would have
guy
had to
would-
because you only
you
get
know.
knocked out in movies. If you get hit with a,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be, you have to get hit right, just right on the chin. We've seen enough fight videos on the internet to know this.
Mhm.
You can get cracked in the back of the head with something and it not knock you out.
Yeah.
Right.
I've crashed
Yeah.
enough bicycles when I was a kid, falling off enough shit. I never got knocked out. I got my bell
Man,
rung,
I
but-
wonder. You gotta
Yeah.
think about the mentality of a robber, though, right? Like, if somebody's trying to steal shit from a house and they get hit in the back of the head by a golf club, they'd probably throw in the towel. I think, right? Like,
I think a lot of people
that's
would.
generally how it goes with I watched this side note. I watched this YouTube channel called Active Self Protection. It's
Ah.
literally a whole YouTube channel about this to break down like Ring security cam footage, right?
Hmm.
And that's generally the way it goes. Yeah, like any first sign of resistance at all, and they're like, they don't want to fucking fight. They didn't come there to fight.
Yeah, they
It's
came there to
not
get
why they're
money.
there.
Yeah.
They came there to get some shit. If you're gonna put up any kind of fight, even if they can beat you, they'll probably just leave. They're not
Right.
there.
Mhm.
And in this case, that was right. Like with the people, you find out like they're just desperate as hell.
well, and like,
Mhm.
it's amazing because it honestly was handled very well in terms of like, the girl had no gun, like no bullets in her gun, and he knew this, and so
Yeah.
he just like shooed them out of the house afterwards, anyways. And like, what happened was his son got punched in the face because he was trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
And so it's
Mhm.
like, I mean, can't really get much better than that in terms of a home invasion. Like,
Yeah,
Well, all that, like, so we're talking, it's movie stuff. All that is just a setup, right? Everybody calling him a pussy and everything is all set up for him to be an actual badass.
well, because he knows he's a badass and he likes to.
Yeah,
hurt
he
him.
could have killed him. So,
Mhm.
and as we find out throughout the story, we find out that, where he was and what he's come to and why he doesn't, he's trying to not be that way. He was an insect that dreamed he was a man, but now the insect is awake.
Oh man,
right.
it's like that that tweet about being a bearded dragon on a rock basking. You wake up suddenly from all of the thoughts of taxes and paying your bills fade away as you lick your eye to keep it moist.
Exactly. Excuse me.
Yeah. So
But I like even the opening before that. Actually, just to comment on that, I really
wanna
like
talk about
how
that
they
too.
take you through his week.
Oh,
I like how they
thought
do
that
that
was hilarious.
immediately. They open up with a montage. What I thought was
Right.
great. Just if you're gonna do a montage, I mean, I'm fine with them. Just
Do it in the very
do
beginning.
it. Do it in the beginning. Get it
gonna-
out of the way.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Yeah.
rip off Edgar Wright, do it right from the beginning.
it was
That's right,
definitely an
yeah.
Edgar Wright ripoff. I
Yeah.
have.
I'm not mad at that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
No, it was good. It was a good ripoff.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's,
I will
it's good
say
stuff.
that
quality
the
ripoff.
Edgar Wright influence in this film is very palpable. There's a lot of moments that are
Yeah.
very Edgar Wrighty, especially with
Mhm.
the music and sound design. All
Yeah.
of the like
Yeah.
hard cuts to music and stuff. I was like, ah, yes, I have also seen Baby Driver. Or like,
This
Yeah.
is like hot fuzz. Yeah, very hot fuzzy, baby drivery. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who's the director? Who's the director again? What is it?
Ilya.
Oh, this is the guy that did
Hardcore Henry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
That's-
But watching this movie and knowing that he did Hardcore Henry it's
Surprising.
incredible that he's done this.
It's a
I didn't know that
Honestly,
when I was
that's-
watching
that
it,
is
but
a
that is-
crazy step up, I think. And like a step in a completely different direction, like if you watch a Yui Bowl movie, speaking of like video game movies, a Yui Bowl movie is a Yui Bowl movie through and through, no matter what movie it is, no matter what video game he's destroying. And a lot of directors have a specific kind of flavor that they tend to go with. But this guy, it's like full 180 almost. Like the fight choreography. Well, I mean, the fight choreography for Hardcore Henry was like top notch though, and it had to be.
It had to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But the style is like completely different. Like,
very different.
yeah, I mean,
Way
I haven't seen a
different.
Hardcore Henry since I first saw it in theaters because why would I? So it's been a while, but yeah, I just like there's a bunch of times where like the pacing of the movie was really good, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is the dude that did Hardcore Henry, where the pacing was 100 miles an hour
But
the entire
yeah,
way through.
how do you
Like, it's
even describe
crazy?
that?
Yeah, but I
I,
like all the little bits of the story that made him human. There's a lot of little tidbits that I like, of like little plot and story points that I really liked about it. But yeah, that the opening was great, and yeah, I liked all these little digs at his character and stuff like that. And you're kind of like, okay, well, who is this guy? And I like how he's not just like some special forces dude. They kind of made up an occupation for him, which is kind of cool.
He's
He's
an
like,
auditor
he's
an auditor.
yeah,
for the
he's,
3-digit
clever.
agencies.
So he's an assassin that takes out like high value targets.
Well, hordes of people, actually. He's specifically a horde assassin. It's like, I mean, I don't recall. Well, there's that one scene where he's talking about the guy Alan in the woods, but like the pictures they show and everything, it's like this dude just leaves a trail of bodies everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Which is not quite what an assassin does.
I don't know. I've played Assassin's Creed. Those games have kind of like fell off the.
That's fair. This guy's not quick and quiet. He kills in the dozens whenever he does a job.
He's very good at it.
So wholesale
Yeah.
assassin, you might say.
And really quick, let's talk about how fucking awesome Bob Odenkirk was in this movie. Like,
Yeah, he's
really
great.
Yeah, man.
like out of nowhere. I totally believe that character, and I don't know why, but other than Bob Odenkirk being a really good actor, but he sold it. I don't know why I bought it like hook, line, and sinker. Like, yeah, this ordinary looking dad is secretly just like this guy who's murked hundreds of thousands of people. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think a big part of it is the fact that they did the choreography in such a way where he seems like an old man that's kind of not in his prime.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in the bus fight, which is the first big fight that kicks things off. You know, he gets his ass kicked a little bit.
A lot of it.
A lot of it.
He gets thrown out a fucking window.
He gets stabbed too.
So good.
But like the fact that he like gets up and is like, you know, like, ugh, god damn it, these kids, and like clambers back into the bus, and they're all like nursing their wounds too, because he's like giving them a good fucking whooping, and then they all look up, and he's like, here we go again. You know, it's like
Gets
I
back in the
really,
bus.
I really appreciated the groundedness of some of that. I think this movie couldn't decide whether it wanted to be super grounded and realistic or whether it wanted to go super over the top with the action. But I liked the grounded stuff a lot more, for sure.
I honestly wish on the bus that he just shot them all.
Oh,
I thought
really?
that would have been better. As entertaining as the fight was, for me, I think it would have made more sense for his character to just shoot all the guys on the bus. That's how he should have done it. And then you would have been like, what the fuck? Instead of this
that
guy
would've
who
been
was
shocking.
too old,
That's true.
even as well trained it is and all this shit, he is in a bus fighting 5 young men.
Two of them have knives.
I mean,
he has not fought or done this since before his kids were born.
Right.
I mean, coming from an old man myself, and I'm not in any kind of shape or anything to fight a bus full of young guys, but no matter how much training you do, you are still at a point in your life where there's only so much beating you can
I would
take.
wager
And
that
it just
in
it
real
felt
life,
out of character.
in real
even
life,
for the character.
even somebody who is young and in their prime fighting a bus full of other young dudes that are also
Would have
like,
gotten his ass absolutely.
also would have gotten his ass handed to him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of the suspension of disbelief with a lot of these
Of course.
movies anyways. And I think that they actually did a much more egregious violation of that, if you want to consider this to be a grounded fighting movie, which is where he shows up later in the film to invade the Russian hideout.
Yeah.
And he kills about 150 people with a couple rifles over the sound of like neoclassical music. And it's just like, when it hit that point, I was like, okay, I can either accept this and just like enjoy the ride.
It's just
or
an
I
over-the-top
can-
action film, yeah.
I was like, okay, so it's one of those, which is why I thought the bus scene was interesting in the respect that like, it felt like they were making him earn the 5 kills.
Yeah.
But then once they were like, okay, so yeah, he's like a killer and stuff, he can just go destroy an entire warehouse full of like Russian soldiers.
It's like when a werewolf turns into a werewolf the first time, it's 10 minutes, and then later in the movie it's 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
the thing though too is that they're also ramping up. So
That's
it
what I was
doesn't
gonna
just
say.
go from the bus scene to him just slaughtering people. It goes from the bus scene to the Russian
house
mob
scene
invading
where-
him,
yeah,
where he doesn't
the
have
8
any
people
guns.
in the house.
Yeah, he doesn't have any guns yet, so he has to get guns from the guys invading, and that's where they very quickly ramp up the violence and the way he gets all this stuff. But he's still using like a baseball bat or something, which is
Kitchen
fucking
knives.
awesome. Kitchen
Well,
knives.
that's what I'm
He
saying,
like,
like that,
snaps
you
the
know.
baseball back and stabs the guy. That's a great.
I think it would have made that fight more powerful when they invade his house if he just had not had this ridiculous over-the-top bus fight. My only real quibble with the film was that I think it would have been way more powerful if he'd done exactly what he'd done, got the bus lady off, and then he turned towards him instead of emptying his bowl. And when he started, because I thought that he was just like, well, he's gonna blast these guys, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, who is this guy? What an intense scene! And then he just empties his gun and hands out an ass beating, and also gets his ass totally beat. I don't know, like it's just
I
I think it
gotta,
would've
I
been
gotta
badass
do a
if he
180 and completely disagree with you. I thought
Yeah,
that the
I just feel like if he just
down
killed
and
everybody in the
dirty.
bus, it would have been like, oh my god. And then later when they attacked his house, that would have then you could have done the amazing fight scene, and it would have felt more satisfying to me. That's
Yeah,
just how I feel.
I was completely the opposite. I like the ramp up. I like how he doesn't have. Well, I guess I mean, he has the gun, but he just doesn't go. He doesn't start guns blazing. I like how he.
Well, you guys are missing a
Gets
very
into that.
important point of his character in the film, which is that he doesn't really want to hurt people, necessarily.
that's true
Or
at
he
all.
doesn't
I
want.
don't
Well,
think
sorry,
that-
he doesn't
yeah.
want to kill people. Like he tries to save the brother by he notices that he's asphyxiating because he broke his coccyx or whatever, and so he cuts a little slit and puts the straw in.
He tricks him.
Trachea.
Yeah, the
Your
trachea.
coccyx is in your butt.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I said.
I mean, well,
Larynx?
when he starts the fight, he says, I'm gonna fuck you up" or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
So I think in the bus fight, he's not out specifically to kill people. He just wants to fuck them up, like he says.
And I think that's
Whereas
why
when
he
he's
shouldn't have
later
shot them,
getting
yeah.
attacked
Hmm.
in the home, well, this is like a home invasion. I don't like. I'm gonna kill you all. Like I'm coming at
Right.
it much more aggressively. Not with like in the bus fight. He's like, I'm kind of having fun. Like
Well,
I'm,
and I
we
think
definitely
that's
have
a big
fun.
part of
because
it
I'm
too.
trying to have fun and I'm trying to let some steam off, basically.
Exactly.
Like that's
He's trying to blow
right?
off some steam because
Whereas-
he's frustrated about the fact that like he couldn't go beat up that Hispanic couple.
right. And then later when the Russian hitmen are coming to his house, that's not him having fun. That's like, I'm gonna kill all these people who are trying to.
He
kill my
even
family.
talks about it. I think it's either when he's talking to the dude on the radio, or he's talking to someone else. Where he's like, "They came to my home. You don't do
No,
that."
he says that.
Right.
He says that to the primary villain.
Oh, okay, okay,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, and he's also mad. Like he's mad that these guys came to his home. He's not really mad at those kids on the bus.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's-
you know,
but he did
different.
also
He's having
kill
fun.
that kid. I mean, that's a big part of it is
Yeah.
that he killed the kid.
Also, if he
right.
just shot 5 people for them kind of being douchebags, I think that would have been shocking
would've
in
been
a
a
way.
very
He would have been a
different movie.
villain. You know,
Yeah, it
like that would have been
would've been very
unsettling.
But he is a villain.
Well, I mean, he kills people, yeah, but he's the hero of the story. I think if he
Yeah,
just killed
still a
5
bad
people
guy.
in basically in cold blood, you know, they
Right.
didn't deserve to die because they were drunk driving and smashed into that barrier and then boarded this bus and started harassing a girl. Like, I don't
Easy
think people
fix,
deserve to get
easy
shot in the head
fix.
for that. So,
I'm not saying
think-
I'm not saying they deserved that. I just thought it would have been more effective.
yeah. I mean, like an easy fix would have been like a Han Solo situation, right? Where it's
Oh, if
like,
they shot at him first.
well, even if they he can still shoot them first, but if they brandish a firearm and they make it clear that they're gonna shoot him, and then he like
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood's that bitch, then he still shoots them first. He still shoots them, but at least there's a little bit more just cause. Like he's
Right.
he's about to get shot. But I see what you're saying, Daryl. Like that would have been way more shocking and impactful.
I think we needed that to shock us into who this character is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, let's
Yeah.
take a look at something that's similar. So I would say a similarity would be in Joker when Joker finally kills those dudes in the subway, in the subway car.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
that was shocking. So is that like the same kind of like emotion? You know, because I mean, in the Joker, he's getting the shit kicked out of him by these dudes, and then all of a sudden, one of the dudes' heads, the back of his head just opens up because he just got shot. You know, and then he hunts down the other 2 and kills them. But like, I don't know, because the difference though, even like
two different characters though. You know,
yeah, I know, but even
Like, say,
like,
Well,
Joker
all I'm
was
saying
getting
is that if
bullied,
he
it's-
had killed those guys with a gun and they didn't have a gun, I mean, it would just be a very different movie because the character would be completely different.
yeah,
and I hear what you're saying, but I think this would have been a great way for us to show us who this really guy was, because they always do this in movies. Where like, oh, it's okay that he killed 100 people because they're all bad guys, and we're like, no,
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
killed
talk
100
about that.
people. This
was
guy
just-
still
yeah.
kills people. I don't care if they're good, bad, or indifferent. If you kill someone, it don't feel great. And if
Lesser
you can
evil,
kill someone, it
greater
doesn't
evil,
bother you.
middling.
Look, we can't, like I said, and I get it. It's a movie thing. They do this all the time. And then they accidentally kill. Like they did this in, I think it was in that stupid movie with Will Smith where he's an assassin, but then he kills someone who was innocent. Now it's all over, and it's like, what? You've been killing
Well,
people.
It's the same
20 years.
as this movie is actually just John Wick meets like
Of course.
it's John Wick meets Home Alone. In a
Yeah,
way.
I saw that. That made
Uh,
it is kind of that.
but
like I said, regardless, this guy's a killer, and he is. He's killed.
Mhm.
No,
We got
and
some
I
hundreds of people
actually
to-
agree with you on this sentiment because there's one thing that I've started to just really get a short attention span for, or maybe just a lack of respect for, which is funny because Ilya is Russian himself, but it's like I'm tired of seeing Russian mobsters as like this like faceless force of foreigners that like the American guy can just like kill like wantonly. It's just, I mean, it's just such a tired trope. I'm like, why? I just don't understand why it's always Russians. I'm like,
Oh yeah, they could have been anybody, right? They could have just been drug dealers or something.
yeah, just make them drug dealers. The gang that he fights isn't even Russian. It's like a couple American guys and then this one Russian dude who's not even attached to the mafia, and it's just like,
Who
why?
dances and sings.
It's like I'm just
So
so
dances and
tired.
sings.
And-
That's true.
And
Yeah.
I think this is a big problem that they did with the movie is because John Wick is also the Russian mob. It's
Yeah.
like I'm tired of the Russian mob. I've seen so many movies where it's like, oh, the Russian mob, we got to fight the Russian mob. It's like find somebody else to fight. Okay, I'm over it. I'm done. Like
Who?
be
Who
more
should they
creative.
fight?
The Chechnyans.
Make somebody up.
They haven't gotten their asses kicked in a while.
The Bosnians.
The Bosnians, some other Eastern European.
I don't know, man. They surely can find somebody else to fight.
I know what you're saying, but I think at that point, and I don't disagree with you, but I think at this point it doesn't matter. This movie is what it is. It's a John Wick copy, like I said, John Wick
Mhm.
Home Alone
Mhm.
copy, and it is what it is. And I think the enemies don't really matter at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
They are
I get it because that you had a
Stormtroopers.
similar gripe with like you've mentioned several times before. We were just sick of like the enemy is the Nazis because it's always the Nazis.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Oh,
but
it's the Nazis, yeah. That's
I personally don't have a problem with like the enemy, or like what faction or group it is because they're just those are the bad guys. It doesn't matter who they are. They're the bad guys. They could be
I guess the thing that annoys me
family
about
loving
it is,
Milwaukeeans. If they're the bad guys, they're the bad guys.
Huh.
the thing that annoys me about it is the default bad guys, right? Especially when it comes to like Russians. It's just like, okay. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like,
Doesn't matter.
why are they? I fully believe that there was not even a moment in the script writing process where he was like, and then he pisses off the Russian mob, and someone was like, well, why the Russian mob? Like as soon as he said the Russian mob, they're like, oh yeah, the Russian mob. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
I
we've had
feel
enough
like-
movies about the Italian
Mhm.
mob.
And then they
Well,
throw
I
them
was
out of
gonna
the
something like
say,
that,
I
right?
feel
It's
like
just
we
like,
haven't
come
seen
on.
the Italian mob in a modern movie. We could, it's been a minute, right?
Yeah, bring back the Italian
Why
mob.
don't we- yeah,
Makeup. Like,
Everyone
I
always
like movies
associates
that
the
make up their
Italian
own
mob
thing.
with like old gangster movies. Well, is it there's still an Italian mob today? Like we should, update it a
True.
little bit.
No,
Yeah.
they got.
I
all-
mean,
they
John
all
Wick
ran
2's
out.
got the homeless assassins or whatever.
The
That
homeless.
That
was
was
cool.
weird.
Oh yeah,
That was
Lawrence
cool. I
Fishburne.
was super into
Those
that.
are
I was
super
like,
awesome.
look at this shit. This
And
is
they
Dude,
had
I
like a
don't
secret
remember.
network.
The only thing I remember about John Wick 2 is the guy sleeping in the front chairs, and snoring so loud we couldn't even hear the movie.
Oh,
Oh,
totally
I
I
was
remember
like,
about that.
I thought you were referencing one of the homeless guys who's
I was like,
sleeping.
No,
in the
this guy
movie.
was homeless, so that's why he was there, I guess.
It's all connected, right?
well, you don't want to wake him up because he might shoot you.
Yeah, exactly.
He might be
laid
one of the
across
spies.
He's one of those
the
guys.
front
Mhm.
6 seats in the very front and was just down there sawing logs. And at first it was funny, ha ha ha. And then after a while I was like, okay, this isn't funny anymore. And someone
That
got
is
the
annoying.
manager, and the manager said, "Sir, you're gonna have to sleep somewhere else."
You're gonna have to not be
I
homeless
think
here.
The Mummy was playing in another theater and went and slept in there.
I was
That's a
going in
good
there
sleeping
anyway.
movie.
I mean, nobody would have been in there,
Yeah,
so, or
that was a
everybody
great
else would have been
sleeping movie.
asleep. So
I was in there by myself for one time, but
I do want to talk about the actual bus fight, though. Plot points aside, I want to talk about how
Yes.
fucking awesome that
Alright.
bus fight was. So
it was a great fight, very believable.
yeah. So again, like what Ben said, is the entire time I was watching that fight, I liked how grounded it was, where everybody's very slow and kind of like has to take their time, recollecting themselves in between each kind of like bout of fighting. Yeah. A really good example of this was actually in the Dead. What's it? The blind comic book dude, Daredevil. Thank you. So in the Daredevil
hallway scene?
Netflix scene, like almost all those fights are basically all long takes, which is genius because you can see the stunt guys do stunt work.
Yeah.
I fucking hate American fights because they cut so much. They cut so much all the time. But if
Yeah.
you look at the behind the scenes, all those actors can do all that without cutting. They can
They're
do it
fully
just
capable. These are all
fully-
dudes that have martial arts backgrounds. That's why they're stunt
Yeah.
guys.
Or even the
Like they
actors,
could
like
do this shit for real. you
in
know?
Winter Soldier, in the Captain America Winter Soldier, that fight scene that Bucky and Captain America have with the knife, they did all that in real time on set, and they
yeah.
shot that, but they still cut back and forth, and you lose concept of the fight. They do that in this, but they hold the takes for a lot longer. You can tell. I assume that's actually Bob Odenkirk doing all the stunt work, but it's very John Wicky, where the takes are longer and they show the impact of things, and they show people, which is a very important thing, picking themselves back up off the ground to get back into the fight, which is, that shows a little bit more realistic of an aspect. But there's also some amazing parts, like that part where he takes the knife and like stabs it in that guy's thigh, and then he like rears back, and then he like brings his foot down and shoves that knife in more. But even that movement, you can tell he's like exhausted at this point in the fight, and he's just trying to like just keep going in any way he can. And he does some crazy stuff. Like even like everything he does scared me. Watching him do something, like when he gets thrown out of the window and then he comes back into the bus the third time or whatever, and he cuts the seatbelt and then wraps it around his hand. I was like, oh, now what's gonna happen? And then he goes back in and beats the shit out of those guys again. And then when he hangs that dude with the handbag, that was like, this is
Was that a handbag?
awesome.
Oh yeah, he's like hanging with something.
He's got like a backpack or a handbag or something like that, and loops it around the handhold, and then hangs this dude. And then even that part where the guy's trying to put the bullets back in the revolver to shoot him, he looks over, grabs that loose like support, and then yanks it off of the seat.
That was great.
And I was just like, oh my god, dude, this is terrifying. This guy is terrifying.
It was a great fight scene.
Yeah, and no music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zero music the whole time.
I didn't
So
notice
you're really paying attention to every grunt and every like sound of breaking glass and like these bones getting crushed and stuff. Like you're kind of hearing it whether you realize it or not. I didn't realize there was no music, and I watched this with my brother, and he's a great person to watch movies like this with, because he was a MMA fighter for a long time, so he's like, I noticed the more realistic a fight scene actually is in movies, the less he wants to watch it, because he's like he's always like, oh dude, this is really brutal, man. Like yeah, that would fuck you up, man. And he's just like, man, I know what that, man, getting punched in the face sucks. Like seeing it so realistic on screen is like, oh, tough to watch. But I didn't realize there was no music until after the scene was over, and I was like, dude, that was awesome. And he's like, yeah, there was no music. Like that was amazing. And, it's one of those things you maybe don't notice until you watch it again or think about it. And you're like, yeah, it just really keeps you engaged the whole time, Yeah. And that's part of why it felt so gritty, is because it wasn't like fluffed up with some like really intense, action music going on behind it. It's not fluffed up by
like Duel of the Fates or something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, fuck that shit. One of the best modern like film compositions ever made. Duel
of Fates is amazing music, but the fight thing's not that great.
I thought it was good. There's good parts to it.
It's a different kind of fighting.
Talk about fluffed up fight scenes.
It's a lot of flipping.
There's a lot of flipping.
I'm just talking about that part in the when the force fields are going off and they're just sitting there staring at each other and then trying to get closer. That was good. That was cool. But that's pretty much it. Everything else.
No, there's the scene where Darth Maul kicks Qui-Gon, or he kicks Obi-Wan actually. That's a cool scene.
Just watching Ray Park do his thing was incredible. That entire thing, I think he choreographed that entire fight. But
it was very pretty to watch. Yeah. Not particularly emotional, but very pretty.
A lot of flipping though.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the movie.
Yes.
I mean, that was easily the best fight scene for me, because it takes a much sillier turn or more lighthearted turn when it comes to the combat later on.
Yeah.
Then they're just superheroes at that point.
The home invasion one is still really cool. I like that one too, even though it's a lot more over the top. But that one's cool for a different reason, because that one I think does have the cool action music, and that one is very John Wicky. It's where John Wick in the movies kind of uses everything around him as a weapon. He kind of does that too in this one. He's like throwing kitchen knives, he's using the baseball bat.
Somehow someone left a tea kettle on the stove,
and
it was whistling
the tea kettle.
was
that kind
really
of
funny.
annoyed me. I was like, how the fuck? All right.
Well, or the thing that annoyed me, it happens immediately, where the Spetsnaz soldiers or whatever, they're like walking up into the hallway and they're like checking all the corners. They like kick open the door and they look, and then they like the other guy like checks his back and everything, and like it's like, oh man, yeah, these guys are using like real tactics or whatever. And then he's standing there with the baseball bat behind one door, and the guy just walks into the room,
Yeah.
doesn't
check his
clear
corner.
it at all, and his buddy just gets beamed in the face by a bat for it. And I was like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna like the guy in front who eventually gets stabbed in the chest with the bat 100% deserved that.
He had
Because
that coming.
he didn't check
Or
his
the
fucking
beginning.
corners. Like, come on, man, how do you miss that?
Well, he didn't check
God.
his corner.
Yeah, he didn't check his corners. That honestly should be shown in the Spetsnaz school for like, you know, home like building invasions, right? Like
Right.
they should just
Don't
show
do
that
this.
scene and be like, look, checks corner, checks corner, checks corner, checks corner, doesn't check corner, friend gets hit in the face with a baseball bat.
And now
That's
he's
how
stabbed
quick-
by the same baseball bat.
Yeah, that's how quick things go bad. Check your corners.
That's it.
Well, I gotta go blow my nose real quick.
Okay. There was one part about that fight scene that I really did like. There's a couple of shots where they almost shot it like a horror movie, and I like how they didn't show. I can't remember the character's name, but anyway, Bob Odenkirk, he somehow gets a hold of a kitchen knife, somehow in the kitchen where the knives are, but he's got a kitchen knife,
yeah.
and he's like, but it's taking this perspective of one of the soldiers that's entering the house, right? And he's like going down the corridor. And then one of his buddies is getting pushed along the hallway, and he's
right.
just stabbing him over and over and again.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I like don't show how he gets the weapon, don't show how he waits and like tries to surprise the guy. Just show us, you know, like the action and these guys getting taken out one by one. I thought that was really well done. And I think there's a couple of scenes like that, that are pretty quick and one after another.
Yeah. And what I like about it is that he doesn't actually win that fight.
Oh yeah.
He loses.
Right.
He gets tased and knocked out and dragged out of the house, which I
Right.
thought I kind of appreciated, because you think he's kicking ass so much, like this guy's unstoppable,
Mhm.
and then just for a little change of pace, he actually loses the fight, which is
Right.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's funny that they didn't actually. I thought for sure that he would make it to the destination or whatever, but then of course he wakes up in the trunk, and then he finds that.
It's a fire extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, because I thought that too. I was like, okay, now he's gonna go meet the boss, and like, okay, now we're gonna
Right.
get that side. But then no, he like
I
wakes
was
up
so
and he's like,
glad.
fuck you guys. And then,
Yeah.
it was
Fills the whole
awesome.
car with fire
Like that.
extinguisher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My favorite thing, and this is something that could be believable, but it's still stupid, which is where he fills the car up, and then the guy's the immediate reaction is to slam on the gas and crash into the first thing that he can find.
that
It's
is
just like-
movie stuff, man.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody filled up my car with fumes that I couldn't see through, I would not be fucking going
Jamming the
80.
brakes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Like Dana said, it's movie stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I don't even think that's actually movie stuff, because I've seen videos of car accidents where people have slammed on the gas instead of the brakes, and just
Yeah.
like so
Mm.
like
Old people do
totally
that.
totally possible kind of thing to screw up. But I was like,
Right.
you didn't have like those three guys did not have to die in that car accident.
Yeah, so you're
They
telling
could
me
very easily survive.
that a trained soldier, as soon as he gets surprised by something, he's gonna freak out and forget how to drive.
Exactly.
That's fine. All right, I'll
They
take
didn't do that in
that
the
one off the
training.
chest. That's fine.
Yeah, I like that scene right after when he crashes. My brother and I were like just laughing. I don't know why, but we both thought that there was just something really. I think it was supposed to be kind of funny.
It's a dark comedy inside.
It's a dark comedy. So the whole thing where he's like, you know, fills the car up and then it goes flying in slow motion. We were just laughing. We were just laughing our asses off. And when it finally is like flipped over and you see him kind of just pop out the trunk, he's just like, ugh.
Well, not even that. Like when he
when he
like
talks to the Black Russian guy.
that scene, he's like, I don't think I've ever seen a black Russian, or says something like that. Like,
Yeah,
"There's
I
Black
get that
Russian,
a lot, guys.
But even like when he like comes into the actual cab of the car, he like kicks or he like forces the center seat down, and the guy like he goes like, so quick. I thought that was
It's
great.
funny.
It was
I'm
so
glad you guys
good.
thought it was funny too, because
Yeah,
I
there was
wasn't sure
definitely,
if, like
like-
we were weird.
No,
But
there's
I thought
it
that
definitely
whole
was
thing was
very
hilarious.
silly for sure.
humorous moments. Yeah.
I mean, it started to cross that threshold. It wasn't a funny movie actually until probably that moment. I think. I mean, there was
Yeah.
like some obvious. There was some like the scene
The
where
montage. maybe.
Missing the
The-
trash truck is funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
the scene with actually the guy his brother-in-law like giving him the gun and like he first points it at him. He's like, don't be afraid. The safety's
yeah.
on. Oh shit. All right, now the safety's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, clearly it had moments like that where it was supposed to be a dark comedy, and then it just like it turns into like an absolute comedy at the very end. Like, I think it does ramp up in the humor, particularly when the dad gets involved. I was like, all right, we've
Where's
gone.
Lloyd?
What a great little part. I thought that was a great part for him. What's the actor's
Yeah.
name?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when those two guys go and try to take him or kill him or whatever
was
like that,
great.
that was fucking fantastic. What a great way to introduce that guy as a badass. Is to
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
and the way they shot it too is like when that really quick shot where he takes his finger and blocks the hammer of the pistol,
Yeah.
and they zoom into it super quick, and then
Yeah.
they're doing all
yeah.
these really quick zooms and cuts, and then he's got the shotgun pointed at the guy. Like, I was like, oh, I'm in. I don't
Yeah.
care what happens next. I'm in. I hope he doesn't die. But yeah, it was great. I was like, the entire time watching Christopher Lloyd do all that shit, I was like, this is great. What a great role
Yeah.
for him.
You get an idea, like, well, this guy might be more than he seems. Because he has that brief moment where he talks to Bob Odenkirk's character, and he's like, do you remember who you used to be?
Yeah.
So you get this idea,
Mhm.
like, oh, he kind of knows who he really is. But yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Mhm.
And at first, when he's talking to his brother, the first time he talks to his brother, it's on like some kind of, what is it, like a radio or
Like a ham radio or something.
a ham radio
Yeah.
or something. I actually thought that was a figment of his imagination,
Yeah. I
I
didn't
thought
know
it
what
was a
going on.
recording or something. You know.
Yeah.
because it sounds like it's Miles Davis. It sounds like exactly like a Miles Davis tune, and the way he's playing and everything.
Hmm.
It sounds like
Ah.
he's hallucinating talking to Miles Davis.
Miles Davis.
Yeah, this guy's got like some kind of like I don't know, like that's like coping mechanism for him. That's how he gets his frustrations out as he like talks to Miles Davis.
I thought he was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. He was talking to an imaginary friend or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you find out that's actually his brother later in the movie. Thought that was kind of clever.
That was his
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, I missed all that
Like
until I looked
adopted
it up
brother
on
or something like that.
Wikipedia. It's his
Well,
half
yeah,
brother.
something like that. But
Yeah,
Half brother.
yeah.
I didn't
Uh,
catch the part when they talked about that.
Yeah,
I mean-
I missed it. I missed it too. I looked it up later.
It's just started being a movie that was less about paying attention and more about enjoying about that moment, right? Where like I think once he goes to the club and he just like confronts the boss and he does the Joker thing where he's got the claymore tied to his finger and he's like and I was like, hey, that's fucking that's Heath
I
Ledger.
thought he was gonna make a pencil disappear.
I know.
Yeah,
that would've
I
been
can't
cool.
believe they got Heath Ledger for this movie. Thought he was dead. But that scene, I was just like, okay, so like, I don't need to like worry about like real shit anymore. Like this is gone.
Yeah, it's time to
completely over the
totally
top.
suspend disbelief,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which you needed to for the whole rest of the movie.
Yep.
Because it
Right,
was
yeah.
ridiculous, over the top, no longer believable action. You get these three guys running around just shooting the hell out of everyone.
Mhm.
Christopher Lloyd can barely walk.
Yeah.
He's screaming
still
and shooting a
shooting.
shotgun everywhere.
He's hobbling
Yeah.
around
He's
with like 7
fucking
shotguns, like just
Killing
all
50
thrown.
guys. Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk.
Well, these guys
yeah.
all have automatic weapons and would have to jump on him, and he's
They also get rid
Yeah.
of the groundedness of the bus fight in that scene because like there are literally people that like stumble over tables and die
yeah.
and I was just like so like we are just like
Well,
Just going
Yeah.
for it.
they're just going for it, and now you're just supposed to enjoy the violence, which
Mhm.
it was great. It was over the top. I love all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
See, this
So,
is why I
yeah.
like the ramp up, because you get that really nice grounded scene in the beginning, like the first fight, and then it slowly gets like more progressively just ridiculous. I mean, as soon as he fires a fire extinguisher into a car and then it flips over and he crawls out and he's got like some amazing Wolverine style regenerative abilities, because when he gets thrown out of the bus and he hits the ground and he's like, oh, and
people in movies always do, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's like that dude would have been in the hospital for a fucking month after that bus.
And when movies don't
in
have their
physical
characters
therapy
do that,
for another
you don't
second.
like it. Like what's that? What was that Charlize Theron movie?
Oh, Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde has some of the most grounded, like realistic action scenes that I've ever seen in a movie. And afterwards, the scenes after, she's in an ice bath, covered in bruises and lacerations and shit, because she just got the shit kicked out of her by 2 guys. Like, it's not like she's fighting a whole room full of people. And so, like, I really enjoyed those aspects of the movie. I wish the dialogue and the plot of the movie was entertaining, but at least that stuff was really cool to see something super grounded. Whereas in this movie, it's like, obviously he's not going to go take an ice bath. He's the Babadook or whatever. The what do they call
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Yeah, the Baba Yaga. He's the
He really is, because they're Russian.
yeah, he's the
Babadook.
Gabagool.
Babadook.
I mean,
He's the Marmaduke.
yeah. So the ending of this movie, I thought was definitely entertaining. It was silly. It was Home Alone-ish. Like, it was like an adult-rated Home Alone. For
It
sure.
really was.
Yeah.
But then it ends and he calls his wife, who's like mad at him for killing people again, as he does. And
I still couldn't figure out if she knew or didn't know.
She knew.
She knew.
It felt like parts that she knew, because back like when he comes home for the bus fight and she's sewing up like it's old times. Yet at the end though, when he's like, she went away with the kids, she was kind of acting again like she didn't know, and I was like, well, this is odd.
I think she was mad at him for bringing all this hellfire down on their stable.
Well,
family
understandably
life.
so.
The thing that I kind of took away from it is, like, because you already know his backstory at this point, is she doesn't know if he's back in the game or what's going on. I mean, because he's not back in the game. He's not working for any organization or something like that. He's just defending himself and his family. And these guys have crossed the line.
Yeah, it was supposed to be one bus fight and done. Really.
This is not a one bus fight and done kind of movie,
It was supposed
though.
to just be the bus
I didn't
fight,
know he
and
was
that was the
beating
end
up
of
the
it.
mob, the Russian mob boss's brother. Yeah.
So I think that's what it was, but yeah, she definitely knew.
I actually really enjoyed the Russian the he's not even a mob boss. He's just like the money tender for whatever.
What
did
they call the collection of money? They called it a
the
cool
Oak
name.
Track
Oh,
or
yeah.
something?
Obshak.
Obschnack or something.
Yeah.
Obschnack.
The Gobsmack.
Yeah.
Gobsmack.
It's a good
But
band.
like when he gets introduced and he he walks across the street and the cars slam on their brakes or whatever. He walks into the bar and he like grabs the shot for free and like drinks that and like walks around, does a bump of cocaine. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's just like another Russian mob boss. But then he gets on stage and starts dancing like really goofy.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I really like this guy. It's
Yeah.
finally
It was
something.
Awesome bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, this is great.
Super not
And
in
then
character. Yeah.
But then they immediately ruin it because they're like, oh, but he'll kill somebody with like at a second's notice. And I was just like, well, I was really hoping for a bad guy that wasn't just, the serial killer evil person. But I guess we need that for this movie. So, like, I was really hoping for him to be a very likable bad guy that you didn't want to die. But
Yeah.
it's like, I guess that was my hope.
Well,
that's your bus scene right there, Daryl.
Even though he's got to be so much worse than our good guy, because our good guy is already such a bad guy. I always find this interesting with audiences where this happened with this happens with everything, but it really happened with Breaking Bad, where everybody hated Skylar, and I was like,
Yes.
She's the only voice of reason in this show.
why? And people forgot that Walter White was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
He's
like
a
he's
terrible,
actually evil.
Horrible
Yeah.
human being, an evil guy, and a criminal. People forgot that and hated her, this poor woman, for reacting the proper way to finding out your husband of 20 some odd years that you have a child with, who you think is a mild mannered science teacher, is actually a crazy fucking drug dealer.
Meth kingpin. Yeah.
Meth kingpin of fucking the Southwest. She acted exactly how she should have acted.
Yeah.
And everybody hated her for it. I'm like, you guys, Walter White, who I loved the character, is still a piece of shit bad guy. He's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
He's not a good guy.
Well, yeah.
And Michael
I
Corleone,
think,
same thing. Everybody
Right.
forgot that Michael Corleone was a piece of shit bad guy. He's a bad guy. I love him, but he's a
Mhm.
bad guy. Let's not forget
Yeah.
all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think what probably happens with what happened with Breaking Bad is like we start rooting for this guy who is obviously a bad guy, and
They get an
now
anti-hero, all that
we're like
stuff.
sort of because we're sort of putting ourselves in his shoes.
Yeah.
Now, because Walt finds Skylar annoying, we also find Skylar annoying because we're really looking through this whole thing through his perspective,
Yeah.
and from his perspective, he's like, Jesus, Skylar.
Right.
He's like, she's just so annoying, right? She's so nagging and whatever, and that's all we see at Skylar.
Walt, are you in danger? That's my favorite part, I think. In danger? Who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Fucking great.
I'm the one who knocks. Yeah, I mean,
Still never seen it.
Right. But anyways, so I think that's what they have to do with these bad guys. They have to make them so over the top bad. You're like, oh well, I know the main bad guy's a killer, but that's what it makes you. That makes you feel like, because this guy, the main bad guy, just killed this guy in cold blood with a broken glass because he said something sideways to him.
Right.
They do
He
this all
didn't
the
say
time.
something
remember?
sideways to him. He looked at him funny while he
That's
was
right. I
walking
couldn't even remember
by.
what he did, but I just, it's the usual thing where
And he was
we have
trying
make
to
the
prove
bad
a
guy
point.
so bad. Exactly.
I'm trying to
It's
prove a
like-
point, so I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I
He was
thought
part
that
of the
was-
Obshank or whatever.
Yeah. God, I mean, I thought for a second, and maybe this is just a desire, but I was just like, man, it would be really cool if the good guy was like this like ruthless killer, and the bad guy was somebody that like really did not want like any of that. Like he was just like a fun-loving, like likable dude that was part of this Russian mob.
And Bob Odenkirk burns.
And Bob Odenkirk just like
down.
forces his hand or something.
Just-
You know what I mean?
Kind of really did.
Burns the whole Abshack.
I think he even says to him, was like, I don't think this, he says it's like there's even after he burned down probably $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even the Russian mob boss was like, I don't think this is even.
No, he
Yeah,
says
it's like-
he says during the firefight, he's like, "Why did you have to burn the money? If you had
Yeah,
left
yeah.
the money, I would have like we could have split it or something." Like
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Right.
But
I didn't understand him going to that level, honestly. I mean, what's he doing by burning that money? I don't know.
Yeah.
he's being a
Entertaining.
badass.
He's trying to.
cool
Yeah.
guy.
I mean, I get the
He's
motivation,
still
but
the
I don't.
good guy.
I don't sympathize with it. So he takes like the assault on his house as like a personal offense, as you would.
Yeah.
And so his personal offense to the mob boss is to burn all the money. I mean, it's.
But I mean, somebody else
Right.
assaulted his house earlier in the movie, and he didn't burn their baby.
True.
Thank God. That would have been a weird scene to watch.
That would have been a weird one.
Yeah.
Burn their baby.
But those people robbed his house out of
Well,
desperation.
who watched
And they
the
weren't gonna hurt
baby
him.
while they were out robbing? But I want to know.
Yeah.
They probably
yeah.
hired a babysitter, and they're hoping to like. So they probably
That's why they
didn't
have no
even
money.
They didn't even recoup their losses on the babysitter.
Right?
Man.
And he didn't even sell the watch. He's wearing the watch, or she is.
I know, right?
you know?
He's wearing the watch. It is really
That's
funny.
right.
That she's
And they didn't
still
even
wearing
have the
watch.
kitty cat bracelet.
I know, right?
Oh, it was underneath the sofa.
They
I-
didn't
I
even
think-
have the thing he came there for.
I think we're, of course, obviously, slightly overthinking the whole film. It just
Mhm.
is what it is. It's a fun action film. It's like you said, it's John Wick Home Alone with a middle-aged dude,
Mhm.
and without Bob Odenkirk's charm, and Christopher Lloyd's charm, you really couldn't pull the movie off.
I agree.
Yeah. Like it was a very. I really liked watching this movie.
And I like I really like Bob Odenkirk, so it's
Yeah.
like he makes it. If it wasn't so enjoyable to watch him, if he wasn't so likable,
Mhm.
Yeah.
charming, and we already love him from being Saul Goodman, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
be as good as the movie was, or as enjoyable to watch as it was. But
Yeah.
and
And
it was
it did,
smart. They
I
made
mean-
it my favorite thing, which is a tight 90. It was 90 minutes. I think it's 132 minutes, which is exactly what you need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
An hour and a
Yeah.
half.
And the things that it's not that they were super unique, but the things that they did really well. Like this is an over the top action movie, but the over the top action is like really good quality. You know, like we're talking.
There
about
is
all
that. I mean,
great
like
fight
once you've
scenes
gone
and
full
choreography.
ham, yeah. There's that scene where the guy is shooting people. His brother is shooting people in the hallway with the sniper rifle,
Mhm.
which is like, come
was
on,
awesome.
you would
Yeah.
not use a fucking sniper rifle in close quarters like that. But he does it. He does the Call of Duty triple headshot thing.
Yeah,
that was,
And then
that was
there's-
badass. Yeah.
And
That
then
was
there's a
awesome.
scene where he flips the gun behind his shoulder and shoots one dude's brains out behind him, and the
Yeah.
recoil face punches another dude
Yeah.
like at the same time. And I haven't seen gun kata like that since like fucking Equilibrium with Christian Bale. I was
Right.
like, this is the most ridiculous. but
Yeah,
it
Yeah,
was-
So
but it's fun to
awesome.
watch. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
was-
loved the Chekhov's gun in the freezer.
That was
pretty
awesome.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
great.
when he takes it, he's got it in the box and he shoots the
Yeah.
box off. That was awesome.
That was great.
That was
was
really
cool.
cool.
But
So
again,
I-
like I said, that's all this movie is. It's
Mhm.
no deeper than this. It's no deeper than a John Wick. It's just an excuse for this guy to be a secret badass and
Mhm.
Right.
and kick ass. So
And
that's all you needed.
we should not get the sequels we're going to from this movie because
I know.
God knows
Sure,
they're going
yeah,
to
we
make
know.
them.
They
Um,
did. You know what? What was that? It was like a mid-credit scene. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
did
What was it?
not.
They're in the RV or something.
And they have all these guns. Who knows where they're going and what they're
Mhm.
doing?
They're
but-
going.
They're going to
yeah,
the
so-
sequel is where they're going.
Yeah, probably.
So- Yeah.
And that so the
Nobody
brother
too. This time it's nobody.
It's gonna be
So-
somebody now.
Yeah,
the dude who plays the brother is a rapper.
It's RZA, man.
Yeah, it's
RZA.
RZA.
RZA?
RZA.
I don't know who that is.
He's been in a
rapper.
bunch of movies, like fight movies.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
but, I
Yeah.
mean, they're not good.
He was great. I didn't know he was a rapper. I just thought he was an actor.
Yeah, he's
I
good.
mean, they used him very sparingly, which I think was a good choice. Just in
Mhm.
terms
But I
of,
think he was
like-
good though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's not like Common, who's a horrible actor.
Oh yeah, and it's funny enough,
terrible.
the John Wick comparison, right? Because there's a rapper in John Wick as well.
That's
Common.
And it's Common, and he's terrible. He's a
And he's
terrible
not
actor.
good.
Who is he? What does he play?
He plays
A guy that fights John Wick.
Mm.
fellow assassin. He's sort of like
Yeah.
he's kind of a peer to John Wick. They're actually kind of buddies. And I think the first time they fight, they don't really want to. In John
Yeah.
Wick 2, they have this really huge fight, the
They
really
have the
dumb
long
silencer
ass-
fight.
Yeah, they have the long ass fight scene.
They do have a
Is that
dumb
Common?
silencer fight.
That's,
That's
common.
Common.
The one who he's having
Oh,
the dumb
okay.
silencer
Oh,
fight
that's
while
such a
everyone's just
You know
stupid
what? I
fucking
will
scene.
say one
Yeah.
one thing that's very much in this movie's favor: the silencers were loud.
yeah.
I noticed that immediately. They were using silencers. They use like the little shotgun thing to blow open the doorknob, and
Mhm.
it doesn't go pew. It goes,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey, yeah, that's what that would sound like probably.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was cool. But I think my biggest issue with the movie is probably just that it teetered a little too in between taking itself pretty seriously and being just over the top, ridiculous 80s action. I couldn't tell which it wanted to
I
be.
think it wanted both.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that either the director or the producer or choreographer, whoever is like, or maybe all of them, really wanted to have an awesome, sweet, sort of grounded in reality fight scene that's really brutal with no music. And they also wanted to have some really awesome John Wick over the top action. And they were like, well, we can do it in this one movie, and we'll make the first half of it more grounded and like Dan has been saying, ramp it up. And for me, it worked. So I guess
Yeah.
it's one of those things, right, where you either don't like that they ramp it up, and I noticed it was happening too.
I noticed it was happening as well.
It's pretty obvious, but when he starts shooting the place up later, he's dual wielding, right? It's like Halo 2.
Yeah, when he
Right.
the part where he car after they're chasing him once he gets out of the bar, and he
Yeah.
pops the seat back, and he's
Oh,
using the
right.
mirror to look behind.
Yeah,
It was
because
just way over.
That
the
was
top.
already
Fair enough.
ridiculous.
Also,
And
cars
I
are
was
not
just like, you know what?
bulletproof. He would be
Yeah.
dead.
Dude,
dead.
he loaded that car.
fucking
But he's laying
filled that car
with
with
Dan, and he
gas.
was laying back in the seat. All the bullets
Oh,
They
Oh,
go
they're
right
going
over the
over
top.
him.
overhead.
When
They
you
go
lay
over the
back in
head.
the seat, you
oh,
don't get
gotcha.
shot.
Yeah.
That's how
And-
it works.
So-
Guns. I don't
Yeah.
care if you point them down; they still shoot sideways. So you don't have to worry about that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
you're good
I
there.
like. Yeah, then it's his that's John Wicky too, the muscle car
Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
drives.
Yeah.
It's-
I mean,
it's
that's what
so
everyone
clearly
was saying. Like
inspired
when
by
this,
John Wick.
when the trailer, the teaser dropped for this movie, everyone was like, "Oh, okay, it's John Wick, but it's gonna be Bob and Odenkirk instead."
And that's
And
pretty
it's
much
gonna be
what it
funny.
And that's what it was.
And that's what it was.
They
There's a
delivered.
funnier
yeah.
John Wick.
They delivered on the expectation, I thought. So,
Mhm.
you guys want to get to ratings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah. I'll go first. I'd give this movie an 8 because I just enjoyed watching it so much. Not like we said before, it's not super deep. There's not a whole lot to dive into here, but like I expected a good John Wick alike, and I got it, and I really liked it. So yeah, I'd give it an 8 based on pure enjoyability. All the rest of that stuff, again, we nitpicked on a lot of the things, but like I kind of was just able to glaze over it when I was watching, which I you know, you got to give a movie props for hiding all the mistakes with just a fun movie. So
Yeah.
so 8.
Give it a 6.
Okay.
I like Bob Odenkirk, and like I said, yeah, it was a fun movie. It's a fun watch. I just feel like we've seen this so much that I wish they tried a little harder to do something a little different. I know it's very hard, right? With this, I mean, like I just saw this in the last Rambo film. That wasn't even a Rambo film, but it was the same thing, right?
Was it Rambo 4?
Almost the same movie. 5, I think. The 5th Rambo.
Yeah,
It's almost the
yeah.
same movie. You know, lures him back, shoots him with stuff, kills him, violent, bloody. It's almost the same exact story.
Yeah.
And again, that story's also been being told since the fucking 70s, actually. So there's only so much you can do here, but yeah, it was good. It was a fun watch. You know, I enjoyed it. It didn't feel long.
Yeah.
Which I was glad about. So many movies these days, you're like, we over with this motherfucker yet? But and like I said, Bob Odenkirk's great. I'll watch him in anything he does. So I give it a 6.
I'd agree with the sentiment. Sorry, I'm leaning back because I'm slowly dying from the second vaccine dose that I got.
Well,
But
I'm glad we're getting it
What?
live.
oh
From
yes,
what?
this is. So I would also give it a 6. It was entertaining movie. I thought it was a blast. But like Bob Odenkirk carried the heck out of this film, and I think for me it was a detriment that it didn't really know what it wanted to be. Like where it had that like ramp up kind of into absurd gratuitous violence. Like in order for it to be better for me, I think Daryl kind of hit it right on the head. It needed to do a couple things differently. To me, if it wanted to be over the top ridiculous, it needed to be like a shoot 'em up type of movie. Because it certainly had the kind of action at the end that you would expect in a shoot 'em up type movie. But then they have that super cool bus fight, and like the fight scenes are all very good. They just don't feel like they're all from the same movie, and I think that's the only thing that kind of took me out of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's how I feel about it. 6 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, I'm more with Danny. Actually, I would give this an 8, and it's mostly because, like you said, Daryl, we've seen this a gazillion times, but so many people have done this exact movie and not done it quite as well. Like, you know, there's a lot of. I can think off the top of my head about a movie that just came out like right before this. I think it has like Dave Bautista or something like that. It's like a similar premise.
Oh, was it the Dave Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Stuber?
Stuber, yeah.
Stuber, yeah.
Stuber is
like I
so
can think of a bunch
good.
of dumb movies that are kind of just like this that are supposed to be action but funny, sort of black comedy, and they don't like. I appreciate that, like some of the things like the bus fight, for instance, where they really went out of their way to do a really cool bus fight that wasn't. They could have just phoned it in with all these action
other
scenes.
hammy bus fights that we're
Like
getting
all
these
these
days.
dumb,
you gotta
like
get the cool
super
bus fights.
super cut, fight scenes, and they didn't phone it in. Like it's really, the action is, like you said, Ben. It's different from scene to scene, but it's all really good. And I'm kind of a snob about that. I think most action scenes and most modern action movies are so dumb and like not engaging and boring, and all these ones are really fun. So it's not reinventing the wheel, but for what it is, it does it better than a lot of other movies, I think. And so, it's good. It's rewatchable. I'd watch it again. So I give it an 8.
Nice. Jerry, have you seen Extraction?
I don't think I have.
Okay, it's on Netflix. It's got Chris Hemsworth, and that's basically it. Everyone else is. It's an Indian American co-produced movie. So
I've
there's a
heard of
lot
this movie.
There's a lot of big like
It's
Indian
a good
names.
watch.
It's
Okay.
it is
a good watch.
it's directed by the guy who was the stunt coordinator for the Avengers movies and like all the Marvel stuff. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. I know that he's a stunt director, and now he directed this movie Extraction. So the stunts in it are fantastic. The action's great. Again,
Yeah, action's amazing.
you're proving that actors actually, when they go and train for stuff like this, most of the time they can do all the not like the stunt work, but a lot of the coordination, like a lot of the knife fights, gun fights, all that kind of stuff. They can move in a set if it's all choreographed and you have your marks and stuff like that, and you practice and practice and practice.
Right.
Stop cutting your action scenes if they're already good. Like again, like I said, like watching the behind the scenes for Captain America Civil Engineer. What's the fucking
Winter
Soldier? Yeah, watching the behind the scenes of them doing
I would watch that.
I mean, it'd be kind of boring, but you'd be making a lot of money.
We gotta get the grading plans.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are we
Dig
gonna
this
put this
hole.
well? But you're watching the
Civil
behind the
engineers
scenes.
do.
Watching the behind the scenes of some dude like in the back of the studio with his phone as they're in the gym rehearsing was way more entertaining than the actual fight in the movie. And
That's
that is
annoying.
not a good sign. That is
That's-
not a good
yeah.
sign. That's bad American editing. Stop.
Right. And that movie has a few really good ones too. I always, when people ask me what are your favorite like fight scenes in movies, one of the ones I always point to is the elevator scene in that same movie.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That,
Made a
with
great
Frank
meme,
Carrillo.
too.
It's a meme.
The elevator scene, yeah, it's used for jokes.
Oh,
Avengers?
like as it, when he's like before we, what is it when he's like giving them a chance to get out of the elevator?
Yeah.
Is that- Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I like that fight scene too. That's another really I point to that
Not
one
a
a lot. Is like
You're not a
dude,
redditor. You don't know that.
creative,
You're showing your
use,
true colors
tight
here, Dad.
quarters.
You're not a me. If you don't know memes,
I don't. It sounds familiar. It sounds like a meme I might
Could
have
be a thing. Yeah.
heard, seen.
I
whatever.
I got our next movie.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Something really really obscure
Okay.
Perfect.
from the 80s.
Escape
This
from New
movie,
York.
no, this movie. No, I said really obscure.
Hmm.
Remind me.
He's
later.
actually scrolling through IMDb right now to find
Well,
it.
it's no, it's well, some important information I need to get to you about it.
The name?
Yes. Okay, so 1981, an hour and 34 minutes.
All
Tight
right.
90.
Nice.
All right.
It's a movie called Dead and Buried. It's a super obscure horror film. And it actually stars, this was his last film, if I remember correctly, the grandpa from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
The old one. Yes.
Huh.
So, but don't look it up, anything about it. Don't ask anything about it. Just, I
Okay.
want you guys to watch this film. This film has, I just rewatched it again the other night. And I saw it. It was one of the ones where we just go for the weekend and we rent a machine when I was a kid. And we get like 8 movies and just watch them all weekend. This was one of the ones that my dad grabbed because he had no concept of rated R, horror. And so I must have been 9 or 10 watching this, and this movie scared the living dog shit out of me. And like I said, I was watching the other night. There are some special effects in it that are shockingly real, even
Ooh.
especially for 81.
Okay.
Stan Winston did them.
Oh, I love Stan Winston.
So, but just watch it, and I'm really curious what you guys think of this. 1981, the year of the changeling. This movie cost
1980,
$3 million to make, truly low budget. I watched this movie. It's on
Amazon?
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And I'm really curious to see what you guys think of an old, obscure 80s horror film, low budget horror film. That it doesn't feel low budget. It's
I mean, Stan Winston's
So-
badass.
so
I'll watch
Dead and Buried.
anything that he's worked on.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
There we go.
Buried.
Alrighty. Really quickly, I just want to
On
say,
Prime,
I watched something very recently that I really appreciated. This is off topic, still has to do with movies, but I watched Vanity Fair do an interview with Harrison Ford and his like legendary career and all that stuff, and they're just asking him about the movies and like just having him talk about it. I love the way that Harrison Ford talks about his acting career because he doesn't sit there and he doesn't say like, oh, this
He's
character,
not super pretentious.
this
he's
character,
not super
when he was feeling
pretentious.
like this and like, and he's going through this tough time in his life, and I really try to portray that. you know, and like really deep. He's just like, there's literally a part where he's talking about Blade Runner 2049, and he's just like, yeah, they asked me to come back and do this movie, and you know, I really think that whether it's CG or if you're on a real set, it's make believe. and I was like, thank God, some stick up his
Right?
ass actor, you know, is like really trying to like dude, you're pretending. He even says in the interview, he's like, I'm playing a character who is not me, who does not have my story. You know, I'm just gonna go and do my job. You know, that's it.
If you've ever seen
Yeah.
Dangerous Days, which is the making of Blade Runner, he's in there being interviewed. And he's talking about his usual Harrison Ford self, and he's got a stupid earring in, and he's going on about this. And yeah, it was really hard to shoot, and you know, me and Ridley didn't get along. So, and then he's at the end, he's like, "But fuck it, it's just a movie."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's great.
couldn't have been said any better, and it's so
Mhm.
true. Much
You
I
know,
love movies and storytelling and everything, at the end of the day, he's right. It's just a goddamn movie.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all make believe. You're pretending.
Yeah.
Did you ever see? It's funny because he was also in Blade Runner 27 or whatever 20. What is it?
49.
2049?
Blade Runner 2077.
I was gonna say
That's the one,
77.
yeah.
the
Um,
cyberpunk mod.
Have you seen Jared Leto's one with Vanity Fair? He does the same thing, or
Oh,
is it
God.
GQ?
Oh.
And
don't
it's
wanna
the
watch it.
exact opposite.
Yeah.
Every freaking movie, he's like, "Yeah, this one was really interesting to mentally prepare for. You know, I
Yeah.
really spent a lot of time trying to get all the facets of the character just right, and really place myself."
I hated
It's just
Jared
like,
Leto in Blade Runner.
dude. And,
Yeah.
and
I
some
hate
of
him
these
so much.
movies,
I hate
It's
it when
like-
the replicant was born. He's all happy birthday. You know, it's like talk normal.
breathing like this?
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jeremy. What were you
So
saying?
it's funny because I haven't seen the Harrison Ford one, but I just watched the Jared Leto one, and it's
Yeah.
pretty much the exact opposite.
That sounds
of
like it, yeah.
Harrison Ford. Every
And Jared
single
Leto's a
movie.
great actor, though.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but
he is. Can't take that
I
away
think he
from
takes
him.
himself way too goddamn seriously.
Clearly,
He's,
yeah.
he's no Daniel Day screw loose. So
Well, the thing though too is like when he was on the set for the Suicide Squad, and he like sent like a dead pig's head or whatever to Will Smith, and Will Smith's like,
Yeah.
"Dude, this is just a job for me. You gotta
Yeah.
stop."
Well, apparently he denied that in the GQ interview that happened, but I guess I would too if I
Hmm.
sent it.
but look at Will Smith, who seems like a pretty down to earth guy in all his interviews and on and on.
Mhm.
Always has been. He's been consistently down to earth guy forever. And then you
Yeah.
had Jared Leto, who's always been a kook forever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We get it, you know. I mean, we're all actors. We'll all be called
Mhm.
full of shit. But it sounds like something that Jared Leto would do. The Jared that I know.
Yeah. Oh, Jared.
Yeah.
Have you seen that meme of him where he's at the New York fashion show, and that dude is walking down in that green dress or whatever, and he's like, and then the next picture is him at the Met Gala, and he's wearing that dress. Have you not seen this? Oh my god, I'm gonna text it to you right now. It's the most Jared Leto thing I've like.
That
That
is
that
so
explains
funny.
him as a person like to the T. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Really funny.
Oh, or good old Herod Leto.
My dog is giving me the stare down.
All right, well
Telling
that's all we got.
That's nobody.
So that's
and next time is
Nobody.
next time is an obscure, Dead and Buried, an obscure movie from 1981.
Yeah.
Do it.
I
All right.
I didn't click on the IMDb, but I did notice there's a 2010 movie called Dead and Buried. Is that a remake?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I also don't know so.
I was gonna say, we could have a what's it called on our hands? The Matt Reeves one and the other one.
There's a Matt Reeves one.
Oh, what's the we did a twofer. I'm not saying we should do that this time. I'm just saying that we.
Fucking Let Me In and Let the Right One In. The vampire
Yes.
movies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The
look at-
first.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was our first episode actually. No, our first
Yeah.
episode was.
Oh, by
Parasite.
the way, I think we just hit our 1 year anniversary.
Oh
This
yeah,
is an
we did.
animation short.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did hit our 1 year anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
saw a little
We did this.
Snapchat memory
Us.
of
Wait, us?
me from a year ago doing this. What we're doing right now.
Doing this,
Really?
this exact thing.
Man,
Yeah, so it's been a year. Crazy, right?
Wow, that's a long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
wow.
Ben is about
More
to
than
die
you.
over here.
I know. I'm like,
What's wrong with you, Ben?
Dad, did you
Ben's
say-
like-
I got the second vaccine shot, and it's starting to kick in.
How good is that?
That is great. Danny, did you get yours yet? Did you vaccine the shot yet?
No, I'm gonna get that as when I have time.
Mhm.
I need to have time.
Yeah,
I know.
Dan's
I
really
really should. I guess I
super
should
busy.
do it too, just so I can have it.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're
Something else in my
giving
wallet.
us like $50 to go do it. They're like the
Oh,
hotel.
the hotels.
Oh, really?
Offering
I'll get
like
paid
an
to get vaccine.
incentive. Yeah.
Well-
Doug, my brother Doug got the Johnson and Johnson one.
Is he
Uh-oh.
dead
Is
from
he
blood
gonna
clots?
have a blood clot?
No,
Did he turn into a baby?
6 in 2 million.
Does he smell like their shampoo? That would be great. I would get that vaccine. I don't care how
no, but
effective
he
it
looks
is.
like this now.
Better or worse than blood clot? I don't know.
I think that's just a picture of Doug.
I sent that. There's a family group text, and I sent that out. Hey, look, Doug got because Doug actually got the Johnson and Johnson one. I'm like, look,
that's
Doug got the Johnson and Johnson one. And then he sends a picture of him going the same way. Uncanny.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. Speaking of uncanny,
Shit.
let's go ahead and end this thing so Ben can go pass.
Oh yeah,
Pass
I
on.
can go uncan.
yeah.
All right. Gross. I don't know what you. I don't know. Yeah.
This has been.
This has been. Sorry, Ben. I know you're trying to leave this. This has been the We Like This podcast. I am Damon Waters. We got Daryl Waters, Jeremy Dallas, Ben Nickerson, and we are gonna do Nobody. Let's do another hour and a half of this. So you can follow us on social media.
We're gonna do Nobody?
It's,
Dude,
what?
dead and buried.
I'm joking. I'm not.
Oh,
I was gonna
oh,
restart the episode.
Oh,
It was a really good bit. It was a really
got
good
it.
bit.
I got the
I'll
bit.
do it again. I'll
Just
do it
like
again.
my baseball bat joke.
Yeah. So you can follow us on social media. So the Discord is down below in the description, or you can find us on Instagram at WLT Podcast. Next week, 7:30 Central Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, we're going to be doing Dead and Buried, the 1981 horror movie. So you can watch us next week when we do that. And maybe my lights will be different colors. You know what? I'll just make them different colors right now.
Whoa, don't.
Oh,
wow.
look at that.
Oh,
It's
now
like
what'll
a-
they
Look at
tune
that.
in for?
There's no surprises.
Damn it.
Shit, sorry. All right, let's end this thing.